Okay, hi everyone. Let's start with a quick quiz. Take a few seconds and try to think if you are familiar with this device. In case you are not familiar, this medical device called pacemaker. Pacemaker is a small electrical device that implemented into patient chest in order to treat some abnormal heart rhythm, which can cause your heart either to beat too slow or miss beats. Actually, this tiny device sends electrical impulse in order to set the heart rhythm. Now, try to imagine what may happen in case that this device will have a bug or suddenly stop working. Correct. The patient's heart may stop beating. Now, try to think what are the consequences in case that this event will really happen. Unfortunately, last month, it's become a reality. Over 60,000 pacemakers recalled from the market due to risk of electrical short. Over 100 pacemakers caused serious injuries for patients. People could die. 1,000 patients were at risk. Over 100 were injured. My name is Keren Tzabar, and I'm quality manager at Medtronic. My job is to make sure that this event won't happen, and that patient safety will be kept during all product life cycle. I really love running for distance. Therefore, I'll take you for a short journey. And in this journey, I will explain how to implement the quality into the medical device in order to avoid the next recall. This roadmap that we will follow during our quality trip, we will shortly visit each point of interest in the design control process, and at the end, we will think together what things could go wrong in the pacemaker recall event. Our first station will be the user needs. When you had a wonderful idea for your new medical device, there are two terms that you should understand. The first one, intended use, which means what you claim that your medical device does. And the second is indication for use, which describes the disease or condition that the medical device will treat, diagnose, mitigate, including a description of the target population. All of this related to the user needs. Now, in order to get a better understanding of what user needs really are, you should ask a lot of questions. For example, let's take our pacemaker. You can ask, what do you want the device will do? And the answer will be, the device will give electrical pulse to the heart in case that no heartbeat were detected. Or, how will the user and the patient interact with the device? There are likely thousands and thousands more questions you want to ask and answers as well. Just keep in mind that later on you will need to demonstrate that the product you develop addresses the user needs that you defined. Logically, user needs are the lead to the next station, design inputs. Writing good design inputs, in my opinion, are much like art form. And like all art forms, writing design inputs take practice and dedication. Design inputs define all performance criteria, device functions, safety, and all other requirements and features of your product. The primary resource that fits the design input are the user needs. However, don't rely only on the user needs as the only source for the design input. There are things like industry standard, regulations, and competitive product that you also should consider when it comes to defining the design inputs. You have to consider all types of source and resource for the design inputs. Leave no stone unturned. While user needs are broadened statements, subjective, with abstract concepts that may be difficult to measure, and it's okay, design inputs should be objective and measurable. Think of the user need as the precursor to the design inputs. Pacemaker example, input can be, since the pacemaker should be stable in the human body for at least 10 years, we need a suitable material to support it. Therefore, one related input may be that the battery will be lithium with long life, 5 to 10 years. Or another example is that the device should be implemented in the patient's chest. Therefore, it should be small and light. So the input may be that the weight will be no more than 25 grams and the size not more than 1 centimeter. Remember that you should consider design verification when establishing the inputs. But before jumping to the verification, we'll have a short stop in the design output station. Design output is being the recipe for your eventual product. As you get into the design and development, you start to identify all parts and pieces that are required for your medical device and define what are subsystems and components go into your medical device and how are those components put together. Your medical device is comprised of a number of materials, components, subassemblies, and so on. And each one of these should be defined and documented in things like drawing, specifications, instructions. Good design inputs make it easier to create design outputs. Output, for example, in the pacemaker is the battery specification or drawing including the actual size. Now, we will discuss two important stations together, verification and validation. When you got to design verification, your goal is to prove that your design input met your design output. Design verification is all about demonstrating you made the product correctly by testing, inspection, or analysis. And for the house verification, we can check if the roof is red, the windows are not more than 1 meter, if the door can be opened or closed. Design validation is about proving that you designed the correct product. In order to understand the difference, it's helpful to remember that the whole intent and purpose of the medical device validation is to prove that your medical device meets the user needs. As for the house, the user needs, we need to confirm if he can easily get into the house, is it comfortable to live in? Next quick stop is the design transfer. Design transfer occurs after successful completion of all verification and validation, and completion of all documentation that needed for the manufacture of the medical device. Last but not least is the design change station. Medical device continue to be changed. All design change need to be assessed before the implementation. Assessment should include impact on the user, impact on the overall safety and efficacy, and regulatory impact. Now, let's get back to our tiny pacemaker, which we recalled from the market. Our pacemaker were in the market, which means he went through all the required steps. So let's try to think together and understand what went wrong. Before jumping into assumption and guessing where the failure may appear, let's stick to some facts. First, I will remind you that a pacemaker recalled from the market due to risk of electrical short. Now, I want to share with you that the company found out that the electrical short appeared due to moisture inside the device. And last, we should know that the moisture in the device appeared due to integrity failure, which related to the epoxy glue. Knowing those facts, let's get back to our journey and revisit stations in order to try to identify where things could go wrong. While visiting the input, it is possible that it wasn't defined that the glue should be stable in the human body temperature, 37 Celsius degree. As for the output, it may be defined as an input that the glue should be stable in 37 Celsius degree. However, the chosen glue wasn't stable in all body temperature range, which may be higher than 37 degrees. Jumping into verification station, in case that according to the supplier statement, the chosen glue is suitable for all temperature range, but verification wasn't performed in order to verify that bonding quality will be kept during using the pacemaker materials. Next station may be the validation, which conduct but haven't taken into consideration the aging of material, including the glue, during the product shelf life. Last stop is the design change station. Here, it might be that the epoxy supplier notified about a change in one of the glue material. This change may affect the mixing time of the glue, but there's no verification was performed for this change before implementation in the production. Remember, missing information or mistake in each one of these steps may lead to severe results. Therefore, next time that you will have a new product development, in order to avoid the next recall, verify you follow the roadmap. Be accurate in defining the user needs and inputs. Perform validation and verification as required, and manage change properly. All of those together will minimize the risk for the patient and for your business. And remember that quality and innovation are in your hands. Thank you.